This is an extremely important video. This will be the last day of our San Diego weather. It's been 15-20 degrees above normal every day basically for 10 years. And so all these people that are all over the internet, this drought going on for decades, such bullshit. I got that at Savers, by the way. So the Big Bend in the river, the Great Delta is right there. So that's it, right there. The Ute Trail. It's where it pours into the Great Salt Lake. It flooded all over right here. That mega welfare Dairy Queen milking his cows 4 times a day. I mean, it's so disturbing what these see in the name of agriculture. They just tear the marsh up, turn it into farmland to try to grow some alfalfa or corn for cows you milk 4 times a day to give you cancer and poison you. Big agriculture, most corrupt industry in the United States. Dairy, mega dairies. The second, the most corrupt, the nuclear energy crime syndicate. So anytime you read an article that says, this blows my fucking mind. It blows my mind. I'm born and raised on the fucking wetland. Born and raised on the Great Salt Lake my entire fucking life. When it flooded in 83, 84, it was all the way up in here. Over I-15. My spiral jetty video is so historic and so incredible because it proves their lies. I've been out there documenting the Great Salt Lake since he built it, 1970, and then it went underwater for years. I mean, it was underwater for years. Then it came down and got right to the perfect level. Then it went back up in 2011, 2012. I mean, lives and breathes. This drought didn't start till 2011. You can look it up. I'm the guy that named it. You think about, and it's been a proven, unarguable fact. Whistleblower after whistleblower after whistleblower from multiple different, places, including inside Google, have came out and said that Google is 100% captured and that they're only promoting their agenda, which Google owns Diablo Canyon. Google, and then who owns Google? Corporations are people, Mitt Romney. So how come there's no school today? It's Friday? Yeah, I guess. Oh. So anytime you see an article that comes out that says the drought been going on for days, is a fucking lie. It's a total lie. You can look it up. I'm the guy that named it in 2011 before it happened. It's going to cause a heat bubble of the Western United States. These meltdowns poured in. If this doesn't prove to you the so-called Illuminati, they don't illuminate, they radiate. I hate that name. It's a small group of people. Bezos, Musk, Gates, that isn't any of their real last names. I mean, they're all the same clan. So, I named it in 2011. The Great Western North America Heat Bubble Drought. I'm the guy that named it. And so, it started in 2011. So this is the wetland, the marsh, all artesian wells. I grew up here. I grew up on the Great Wetland. The greatest wetland maybe in the world. This is the first time in my life this year, not one single flock of Canadians. They start moving in late August. It's prime time right now where it's just, the sky is just black. Coming in the mornings, evenings, all day long. With tundra swans, Canadian geese, every duck you could ever dream of. So this is it. This is the wetland. I cannot overstate this. That trailer video of mine is that historic. And Orwell. This is beyond Orwell. Orwell couldn't make it up. How did they do it? One, by gesturing, two, by... Look, it was against the law for foreign entities to run newspapers or major media. Remember Maxwell's dad? I was in New York protesting when he come in and tried to buy up media. And they're like, you're not from the United States. You can't. It's against the law. And it was that way. Clear, remember Samuel Adams and Paul Revere, the first they come to the Craftsman. They had, you know, same fight going on. The new Boston Tea Party, the new East India Company, Amazon. Look up Jeff Bezos' grandfather on his mother's side. Look it up. Look it up. Where the hell is this? Up on the canal. Wow, isn't that something? Interesting. So this is the marsh. This is the wetland. I'm in it. I grew up in it. So I love how they'll get... Reporters come from New York City, Operation Foxconn, New York Times, Washington Post, to come in and tell us about the Great Marsh when I'm born and raised on it. Fuck, I'm half muskrat. Seriously. I'm half fucking jackrabbit. Well, that's it then, huh? No, I'm more than that. I'm half fucking tundra swan. I'm half Canadian goose. I'm half fucking mallard. I'm half fucking blue heron. This is it. This is the wetland. I'm standing in it. The Great Artesian Well right here. I'm standing in it. It blows my mind. It blows my fucking mind. I wonder who this fucker is. Who knows? So, I'm in the marsh. I'm born and raised in it. I mean, the delta's right there. I mean, the one of the greatest wetlands on the face of the earth. Well, where was the other great wetland? Chernobyl. Stalin drained that off. That was one of the greatest, well, probably the biggest wetland on earth. Of course, the bayou. Look what they did on the Mississippi. I won't stop there. This was all giant artesian well. That's why these roads are raised so high. They required them to. It's important. Here I am, born and fucking raised, probably the most famous, accomplished. I invented the Million Mass March. I mean, what I've done and what I've accomplished, they're afraid of me. You're talking the greatest environmental accomplished fucking activist fucking in modern history is Kevin Blanch. I'm born and raised on the marsh. Born and raised here. My whole life. If you haven't learned, I spend my whole life outdoors. I still sleep outside most of the fucking... When I'm in San Diego, go ask Peter where I sleep. I sleep in a sleeping bag on the fucking beach. Half my whole life. You know? I'm half fucking muskrat. Literally. Where's the muskrat? I'm half fucking jackrabbit. Well, that equals more than fucking one. No, because I'm using their math. Orwell's math. God, watch that fucking thing. You think? Oh, Jesus. I survived the blizzard of 2010 and the flood of 2011. That's all you got. It's, you know, it reminds me of these arrogant fuckers in Weber County. I mean, this is the most corrupt place on the face of the fucking earth. It reminds me of them in San Diego painting a mural, who's Ted Williams, of the San Diego chicken. They don't even know the real story of the San Diego chicken. Oh my God. And you think the San Diego chicken's somehow baseball. No, it's not. Jelly Bean Bryant. Oh, let's break this out. Speaking of Jelly Bean Bryant is hip to the Clippers. That's Kobe's dad. Great basketball player. He had to move to fucking Italy so mom could teach and he could coach to make ends meet. He was an incredible player. He played for the Clippers, San Diego. Gotta get that out. That thing's one of my crowning jewels. Best thing I ever owned. They never win a gold medal without him in that game. Never. Spain had him beat. By the way, Jared Harding tearing it up in Spain. How about Rashid last night, like I told you? Why does... Well, I'll tell you why. Because the NBA and the NFL hate the Big Sky with a passion. Why? I did the play-by-play, as you know, the entire time at KWSR for 40 years. I'm in the bone marrow transplant, and they're fighting with me. They want to get rid of me. Me and Manny had it going on there. We fucking had such a huge yacht. They sold out the signal illegally for $100 grand, Carolson clan. Illegally, corrupt. They never got away, but they waited until I was in a bone marrow trance. I kept doing the play-by-play. I did the play-by-play when Teron Johnson played. He's making $24 million a year, but fuck, he forgot about it. Just like Lillard. Lillard fucking knows. I remember when he used to borrow $5 to get a piece of pizza. But now it's on Billy. Neither one of them are the greatest players in Weber State football or basketball history. In the last few years, I got to do the play-by-play on every single. I'm friends with them both, really close friends with them. So are my grandsons. The greatest basketball player in Big Sky history, Jarek Hardy. The greatest football player in Weber State history, Rashid Shaheed. Did you see him again last night? Why the fuck's he not starting somewhere in the NFL? Because the NFL scouts are that fucking stupid. The NBA, the best kept secret in the. Why do they hate Big Sky athletes? Let's ask Cooper Kupp. Let's ask Rashid Shaheed. So no one in the history of sport has done what he did. So don't ever let anybody fucking tell you that this fucking drought started. We stepping on Kobe. By the way, and I'm going to have to sell it. I'll break it out. I have the air ball. I got to tell this story. I'm in Wendover, gambling in those days, when Kobe's a rookie. I used to play blackjack all the time with Chris Morris. Chris Morris continued to guard Michael Jordan, but Sloan was a piece of shit. If Johnson would have got the field, Johnson loved Chris Morris, the Jazz would have 2 rings. But Sloan was that predictable and that bad. Great player, terrible coach. So, this guy says, you're going to the Jazz game tonight. They're playing the Lakers. You know, Lakers were a heavy favorite. And I says, yeah, I bet $1,000 fucking on the Jazz to win the series. They're 2-1. They're 1-2. They're going to kill them. This Jazz team's all that. Kobe's a rookie. So he says, well, I got tickets. Really close, great tickets. You want them? Yeah. How much? The girl I was hanging with at the time. Give me face value. Playing blackjack, throwing more some chips. So I go to that game. She didn't go. She took my truck and went and did whatever. You know, so I had 2 tickets. I saw a guy out there scalping. I says, no, I got him at face value. A guy I know. Here. At face value. We sat together right down there when Kobe fucking shot the air ball. And I will say this about Utah basketball fans. They suck now. And I told Donovan Mitchell, who I know personally, in the New York City airport, play back the tape, Your Honor. What is a guy like you doing flying to Utah? He says, I played for the Jazz. What? You got drafted? You're in New York. No, I played at Louisville. I says, yeah, I remember. I says, you know, they're fucking hardcore. I mean, them fans are nasty. They're terrible. They didn't used to be. When Kobe played there, I'll tell you what. Kobe, we would all boo. Everybody hated the Lakers. But when Kobe retired, when Kobe got to the end of his career, you never seen standing ovations for anyone like the Utah Jazz fucking fans and the old fucking, well, they would give Kobe. People were sophisticated, they were incredible around here, but those days are all long gone. I says to Donovan, I says, you remember those fans chirping up in Kevin Mitchell's, Kevin Mitchell, there's a Freudian slip, Mets, chirping in Kevin Durant's face? When they were the 8th seed, the Jazz, and the Warriors won, yeah. And he put up 17 in a row in their face. Don't feed the lion, he says. Rich inherited wealth punks. But yet, he comes in here and becomes the activist. I invented the Million Mass March. Danielle Willard, that's coming up on 12 years. That's what it was based on. Before it was Black Lives Matters. He's got his bulletproof vest on, and he's got Utah across it, not one. The murder by cop in Utah per capita was the greatest in the world. So, you know, I have the ticket and the program from that. So, don't ever let anybody tell you. Born and raised on the marsh, I'm standing in the middle. That's why those roads are so high. This is their false equivalency. No water. Don't ever let anyone tell you this drought is going. This drought started in 2011. And it was named by Kevin Blanch. And all foretold for Hamlet and Cassandra. They got together, they had a baby. And I see from, oh, of course, this is by the country and words version of Hamlet. I was ever born to set this right. Something right in the New Denmark. Oh boy. So, tear down the Leslie Hodson, Frank Lloyd Wright masterpiece for that piece of shit. Oh, I tried. I was full of cancer and then still fighting. Building houses with no water. There's my big, beautiful, incredible. He calls himself president of what? I built that with cash and they took it away from me. Fucking, that's a whole nother ugly fucking bullshit story. Should have never happened. The haters piled on. IRS and their lies. The greatest drought in 1,200 years. Who can do that? Well, who can fucking... I just turned on the radio and I says, well, turn the camera on. I got a hunch for Sheet. His first play. 2 touches. And that has 36 views. Anybody else put that video up, the exact identical video up? I'm invisible. Just like Jerry Carding and Rashid Shaheed, the 2 greatest fucking players in the history of Weber State, ever. I mean, you can go back to Soldier and he's right there with him. You know, Eddie Gill, Arsenal Show, he's way better than fucking Damian Lillard ever dreamed of being. Jerry Carding, look what he's doing. Look what he did in the Summer League. Undrafted. Why? Look at Rashid Shaheed. Oh, he had a blown out ace. Fuck. So what? Take him in the 3rd, fucking 4th round. Undrafted. The only person that knew. And I got to do the play-by-play. Okay, for free. Gave yourself every single game they ever played. Both. I know what they are. Why are we invisible? Why is Rashid Shaheed invisible? Was he? Why is Jerry Carding invisible? Why is Von McKay Brody invisible? Why is Wat Masaka, the first player of color in the history of the NBA, born and raised in Ogden, why is he invisible? Weber State won't even speak it. Why is Kevin Blanch invisible? He's the greatest PhD in human history. Don't ever let anyone. And you're going to run to the New York Times or Operation Foxconn News. And I will quote Orwell again in the end of this. Orwell. This is Orwell in his hell. The further a society gets away from truth, the more they will hate truth. And by the way, the problem is they've got total control, and then you got the radical right is taking over the counter. Alex Jones was paid. There's 2 videos asymmetric from each other out there. He has them in LA. I saw him. He has them backed up. Alex, people calling in months away from each, don't even know each other. Why would you not have Kevin Blanch, the world's foremost expert on fucking activist and expert on Fukushima, on your show? Well, Kevin Blanch is an activist. Alex Jones was paid to do that. You're going to get your gun. Johnny, how's gun going to protect you from cancer? Your enemies, nobody wants to come in your house to steal your Walmart goods. You've been socially engineered to do a cattle shoot. How did they do it? Fox, they changed the law in '94. Operation Foxconn News. That's how they did it. And now they're all, CNN, they're all in on it. Look at their board of directors. Anderson Vanderbilt Cooper. Remember when I asked Lisa Ling, his old partner, remember when they 2 used to be together when they were freaking teenagers on, you know, propaganda fucking high school thing? I asked her about Fukushima. I'll get right back to you, Kevin. Sure she will. They got our media. They changed the law in '94. The contractor, remember, Newt Gingrich? Haster? Dennis Haster was the guy. He's in prison for what? For what? Remember Maxwell's dad tried to do that in New York and we protested and they says, oh hell no, so he started buying tabloids. Fox News fucking, they changed the law, Dennis Haster in '94. It's no coincidence when they come in and fucking baseball strike the whole 9 yards. It's all '94 is the key fucking date. And they got the media. The board of directors are all the same people on every single newspaper, every single fucking, in the country, including KSL from hell here. I mean, we have no 4th pillar. Without a 4th pillar, we have nothing. Kevin Blanch in front of the White House. Invented the Million Mass March. Yeah. The most accomplished activist fucking in modern history. I get 36 fucking views. Fucking, how did that? It's fucking. So the radical right, and I told this to Dana Dunford, and he needs to wake up on this. I'm going to do more work on this. Jeff Branch used my tide pool videos over and over and over. So did Alex Jones over and over and over and over. They just rode my back to sell supplements, and they made fucking... Jeff Brent's got rich off my back. So did Alex Jones, just using me without my permission. Without my permission. without my permission. Did Jeff Rance or Alex Jones ever send me a fucking penny? And they were making millions off me. It's all out there now. To sell supplements. None of them ever sent me a fucking penny. And they knew I was in critical condition. They knew I'm suffering and struggling hard because I have fucking AML leukemia. They knew I had fucking open heart surgery. I was uninsured. I was a millionaire when I got sick. You know, thank you for everybody who supported this historic work. Those tiny few. It's been a tough one, ain't it? Don't ever let anyone tell you Orwell was right. They hypnotized all of you. Again. And the far radical right, move to Rumble or whatever, that genre is totally hijacked. Totally gone. Jesus coming back. Jesus coming back. I hope he hurries the fuck up, and I hope he wears a mask. I mean, please. Fucking. Don't let anybody ever tell you that this drought has been going on. I'm born and raised here. I'm like beyond the walking, talking encyclopedia. I'm standing in the middle of the greatest wetland. I fucking lived it my whole life. I grew up outside. I asked my mom, my grandma, any of my cousins, anybody. Go ask them. Fuck, this dude would sleep outside all fucking year. You know, we're gonna get snow tomorrow night. The San Diego weather's over. So it started in 2011. It's not a Fukushima coincidence. Neither the tide pools, neither the salmon collapse, neither the crab collapse, neither is the pandemic. All of it. All of it. It's not a coincidence. Kevin Blanch is the greatest fucking PhD fucking science in history. Stay tuned.